All right, so in this short little introduction to Lightroom Slideshows, I just wanted to briefly introduce some of the different features and options and ways that you can use it. It's one of the, I think, lesser used elements of Lightroom, but can be real powerful in terms of providing slideshows and videos relatively quickly. So first thing that I've done is in my library, I've created a collection of the images that I want to use in the slideshow. So here there's 23 images that I've selected and will be using for making the slideshow. These are images that you have culled earlier. You've selected the best of the best. One reason why you might want to use a slideshow versus just a blog post is for making a video to post on social media and things of that sort. So we're going to go through that. I've included these pictures in the quick collection. You could just as easily put these photos in a collection itself, maybe title it slideshow. We can do that right now. So we'll call this slideshow, and I'll create that. And I'm going to take all these pictures and I'm going to put them into my slideshow folder. Select that. So, or collection, excuse me. So now I know what pictures I'm going to use. I'm going to go up to the top screen here. I'm going to click on slideshow. There's a number of different templates, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, that you can use. But the templates are really where it's going to be powerful in terms of creating these slideshows quickly once you have all the settings that you want. So let's just go through those settings briefly here. Up at the top, there are a number of different things that we can look at. We'll start with the options. So here you can stroke the border with a different color. You'll watch as this increases here, or if you want to change the color, you can do that however you like. If you don't want it, you can just make it disappear. Cast shadow, you'll notice there's a little bit of a shadow, trying to make that image come off the screen a little bit. There's some options for making adjustments there if you want. I'm going to remove the shadow for right now. The guidelines, that's what these are, and you can obviously set those up in a manner that is best for you. If you want to move them all at once, you click link all, and I'll show you what that did. That'll make it so that each of those borders or guidelines are equally spaced. Alternatively, you can unclick that and you can just move one. So if I wanted to move this image more towards the top of the screen, I can, or more towards the bottom of the screen. You can easily make those adjustments. In my case, I'm just going to keep it in the middle. Here you'll see aspect preview. So whatever my screen is, there's some other options. I can do 16 by 9 ratio, or a 4 by 3 ratio. So that changes what your look is. In my case, I'm just going to keep it the same ratio as my monitor. Moving on, we'll look at this feature. These are what are called overlays. These are very handy for creating some branding for your slideshow. Here you can create an identity plate, and you can either have your main, it'll likely be your main identity plate, they call it. That's associated with Lightroom right now. But what's really great is you can add your own logo. If you go and click on that, you click edit. You want to use graphical identity plate. We're going to locate the file on my computer here. And I'm going to choose, it's a PNG file, so it's transparent. And then we click OK. And now you see that's there. Once you have your identity plate or logo, your graphical logo there, you can change how big or small it is. So we'll make it a little smaller here. You can also change the opacity, how much it shows up there. Just leave that there for now. Also, there's a star rating in overlays. So right now you'll see we have some stars up here in the corner. That might be helpful, something you want to use internally. I usually wouldn't include those if I'm making a slideshow for a client. So I'll remove those. Text overlays, also remove that. If you did want a text overlay, we should point this out, you can have some adjustments here. We're just going to remove that though. Moving on to the backdrop, you can change your opacity for the wash. You can change the angle of that wash. You'll notice sort of how that changes the gradient nature of that. If you wanted to put a background image in, you could select that from your film strip. Click that. So this is my film strip down here. I should have pointed that out earlier, apologize. In this case, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to remove the color wash, and I'm just going to change the background color. I'm just going to have a real simple black color here. To separate the image a little bit, I'm going to go back up and I'm going to add a stroke. So I'm going to make this white, just so it adds a bit of separation there. In this next portion here, next drop down, you can have an intro screen. Here again, you can add an identity plate. In my case, I'm going to just add the logo again, just for the sake of simplicity. So that's what it'll look like on the first image, or first screen. And then the ending screen, you have those same options. So you can add a graphical identity plate if you want to do that there. The next drop down you'll see is for music. So that's pretty simple to add. You can turn that on or off. So we're going to turn that on. And I can just add music from wherever I want on my computer. In this case, I'll just put something from a desktop I had prepared. It's giving me a warning because it's already there. But that's what that is. Next, we'll look at the playback. Oops. And this is sort of where you'll find the different transitions and length of the slides. So you can fit the slides to the music, or you can change the length that each image is shown individually. If you want to show them just very quickly, obviously that'd be about 1 second, and then the time in between, how long they take to fade, you can make that adjustment as well. I find that I like, for delivering to a client, at least about 3 seconds. You know, this is just sort of a brief look. We'll have a little faster transition in between times. This talks about how to balance audio and video. If you have video during your slideshow on your timeline or film strip here, you might want to adjust that balance, as well as pan and zoom the images. So I'm going to come down to this last option, repeating the slideshow, or we can select a random order. In a random order, that would select the images automatically. I usually uncheck that just because I've set up the images in a way that tells the story from my collection. And then some other playback options that are pretty self-explanatory. Quality, here we go. So quality, you can have draft, so that'll play faster, or excuse me, that'll be a little bit lower quality, and then high. I find standard is sufficient for what I'm able to accomplish. To preview your slideshow, okay, before we preview, once you have all your settings here, you can go over to your template browser here, and we can say create new preset, and we'll just call this, call it Photography Slideshow. And it says what folder I'm going to save it. I'm going to create that. So when I go over here, I have Photography Slideshow. That way, when you have a new shoot or a new set of images that you want to have all these same settings, you can simply apply that, and it'll apply these settings to that, which is very, very handy. Rather than going through this whole process again, you'll already have a template formed in the way that you want it. Once you've come this far, you can preview your slideshow. So I'm going to click preview down in the corner here. It says how many slides there are and how long it'll last. That is based on the length of the slides that you selected earlier. If you want this slideshow to last longer, you can do that by adjusting the length of the slides. I'm just going to preview this. And I don't know that the audio will come through for the purposes of this video. Let's stop here. Let's go back to the start. And preview. We'll start with the first slide. Okay. Let's see, play. Maybe the intro screen messing it up. Anyway, there we go. So this is just supposed to play it. Hang on a second. There we go. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. I must have been just my computer loading it. But here you'll see each image comes on. And you have that framing, stroke around the border, real simple. I don't think the music will play through because of the screencast right now, but that's the way that works. Once you're done previewing, you can click stop. So you have everything the way that you like it. The next step is to export the video. So you can do that in a couple different ways. Here you can export as a PDF. So that's going to translate this slide, or all these slides, into individual PDF, one PDF file, individual pages. There we go, I got it. Or you can export it as a video. The other place that you can find to export it is up here in Slideshow. It says export to JPEG. So that would take each of the slides and make them an individual image, or again, export as video. And so I'm going to click Export Video Slideshow. And here you can pick your options in terms of resolution and sizing. And you name your file. This is something that I've already created, so I'm not going to duplicate that right well. Might as well. I'll just show you for the purposes. So I'm going to click Save, yes, and here you can see it's exporting the slideshow. So that's just a short introduction to how the slideshow works. If you stay tuned here, I'll put the complete slideshow at the end of this presentation. But thanks for tuning in, and I hope this adds some value to your photography and to your clients.